oh, the global government will control our climate. First it was global freezing, covered a Newsweek 1977, telling you that the whole earth was going to freeze. Then in the 90s, and it was global warming. Now suddenly it's climate change. You can't have change in the climate. We're on a planetoid going through space. The sun is the main driver. And I know most of you understand that, but we've got to get out there to the young people and others that have been taught it's so trendy to be slaves. It's so trendy to be taxed more to drive your car and be tracked. It's so trendy to have home inspectors in your house. It's so trendy to have an unelected global government controlling every facet of your lives. And I just cannot stress enough how huge it is, and I'm going to the front page of prisonplanet.com right now, to have the leaked addendum to the Copenhagen Global Government Treaty, and to have that treaty openly state that it's meant to shut down the third world. And there's another crazy article. Guru of Science Czar Holdren called for doubling CO2 emissions. He said that large amounts of it should be pumped in the atmosphere to stop global freezing. See, they try to guess whether we're going into a cold or hot cycle. They all know as scientists that it's the sun driving most of it. They know it's going to get hot, it's going to get cold. They know it goes through cycles. So they try to bet and go, okay, we think it's about to get real cold. We'll scare everybody and say, give us global government and let us tax and run your lives. You're going to freeze to death. And then it starts getting hotter, and they go, oh, give us global government, let us tax and trace everything you're doing, or you're going to burn up, and the oceans are going to massively rise and flood you. And then it starts cooling off again, and they go, okay, any change in climate is unnatural. This is exactly what Aztec priests did, or what Babylonian priests did 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. The priest, or the scammer class, the fraud class, the original magicians, the con artist, they'd throw some gunpowder in a fire, it would explode, and they'd say, I have magic. Give me the best food, the best hut, the best women. And then they would map the stars, and they knew that every certain amount of time, the sun would disappear in an eclipse, and the moon would disappear, and they would have a big ritual. And to make everyone supplicate and prove their worship of them, they would say, give me your firstborn. I'm going to cut their heart out. The gods demand it. And they really knew it was psychological warfare, just making people submit to them. And sometimes the people would say, we're not going to give you our children. And then they would go, okay. And an eclipse was coming up, and they'd say, ooga, booga, noonga, chunga. And then everybody would see the sun disappear, or the moon. And they'd go, bring it back. And he would say, do you give me and my family complete power? We are no longer just high priest. We are now the royal dynasty of the Toltec kingdom. They would say, and just, build me palaces then, or the sun won't come back. I am God. I am BuGuubu. And that's all Al Gore's doing. He says, I am BuGuubu. Give me billions. Give me Nobel Prizes. I will stop what plants breathe. The polar bears are dying. Oxygen is evil. Gas is evil. I will rule you. World government. I am your king. Public's,